Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, anti-corruption war extends to the armed forces. President Muhammad Buhari orders the EFCC to investigate misconduct allegations against serving and retired officers. Soldiers serving at the war front against insurgency in the northeast receive word of encouragement from the president as their slain comrades are honored. And former President Obasanjo declares Biafra secession a dead issue, urges government to address problems of the southeast. An experimental drug trial in France goes awry, leaving one person dead and 5 others hospitalized.
And on Business News tonight, Bureau de Change operators react to the Central Bank of Nigeria's no forex policy.
Alan Sports News, Odion Ighalo's exploits in the English Premier League earns him December Player of the Month honours along with his coach.
And from Abuja, I'm Gloria Umezuke. Army troops repel Boko Haram attack on military base in recaptured community of Gudva local government area in Yobe State.
We begin tonight from the Federal Capital Territory, where the fight against corruption may have entered a new level, as the President has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to further investigate alleged misconduct established against some retired and serving officers of the Nigerian Air Force and Nigerian Army. Well, according to a statement by the President's Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, this directive by the President follows the recommendation of the committee established to audit the procurement of arms and equipment in the armed forces and defense sector from 2007 to 2015. Amongst the 20 officers are former Chief of Defense Staff, retired Air Chief Marshal Alex Bade, 2 former Chiefs of Air Staff, retired Air Marshal Muhammad Dikka Umar, retired Air Marshal Adeshola Mosu, retired Major General E.R. Chioba, and retired Air Vice Marshal I.A. Balogun, as well as the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambudasuki. Also to be investigated are the roles of some companies and their directors in what the statement describes as fundamental breaches associated with the procurements by the officers and the National Security Advisor and the Nigerian Air Force. They include Himma Abubakar, Aeronautical Engineering and Technical Services Limited, Mrs. Cyrus Technologies, Sky Experts Nigeria Limited, Omenyi Ifanyi Tony, Huzi Nigeria Limited, and SpaceWebs Interservices Limited, amongst others. According to the statement, the procurements process were arbitrarily carried out and characterized by irregularities and fraud, while in many cases the items procured failed to meet their required purposes, especially the counterinsurgency operations in the northeast. Well, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has remanded the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, Mr. Olisa Metu, in prison custody. This follows Mr. Metu's not guilty plea to 7-count charges of corruption, criminal breach of trust, and money laundering. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had charged the PDP spokesman with laundering money involving the sum of 400 million naira allegedly collected from the former National Security Advisor. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, reports.
The National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Olisa Metu, was led to the court by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission less than 24 hours after he sued the anti-graft agency for violating his fundamental human rights by keeping him in custody without charge. On entering the court, the prosecution arraigned Mr. Metu on a 7-count charge of corruption, criminal breach of trust, and money laundering. According to the charges, Mr. Metu allegedly transferred the sum of $1 million to one Sie Iyenome, thereby committing an offense contrary to Section 1 of the Money Laundering Act. He is also accused of receiving the sum of 400 million naira from the office of the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki without a contract, contrary to the Money Laundering Act. Mr. Metu is also accused of converting the said money to fund political activities of the People's Democratic Party. He pleaded not guilty to all the allegations. Attempt by his counsel to make an oral application for bail was rejected by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, who insisted that such an application cannot be made orally.
Well, an order of court has been made, and we believe that, God willing, he will come to no harm, and that he will be well treated. Because, let it be stated, at this point in time, he's presumed innocent of whatever may be the charges against him. So I hope that the prison officials will treat him well.
This is a court of record, superior court of record, a constitutional court. It's not a lower court like a magistrate court. All proceedings of this honorable court are borne by records. That's simply the reason why we insisted that the bail application should be formal, not oral.
Having listened to the two parties, Justice Obong Abang agreed with the EFCC that such an application cannot be made orally. He ordered Metu and his counsel to file his bail application within the next 6 hours, while the EFCC is to respond 24 hours after service of the bail application. Hearing in the bail application has been adjourned to the 19th of January 2016. Until then, Mr. Metu is to be remanded in Kuje prisons. I'm Macau Kafo, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has communicated with officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces at the war front, urging them to ensure they win the war against Boko Haram in Borno State. President Buhari put the call across using digital device and live streaming equipment improvised by the Nigerian Armed Forces at the National Arcade. Our correspondent, Chukwuma Onukasi, reports.
Mounted Presidential Guard approaching the national troops on war horses heralding the coming in of President Muhammadu Buhari into the National Arcade. Of His Excellency. He is accompanied by the commander of the Guards Brigade for the review of the National Guard of Honor on parade. The President and other special guests make a solemn movement straight to the tomb of the unknown soldier for the Beagle. There are prayers in Christian and Islamic format for the repose of the souls of the departed and peace and unity of the country. And a minute's silence in honor of the fallen heroes.
May the souls of our departed heroes rest in peace.
The President lays the presidential wreath. Vice President Oshibajo follows. Next is Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki. Then the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Chief Justice of the Federation, Defense Minister, all take their turn to lay the wreath. Then the firing party. The release of the bells of pigeons and the balloons signifying the unfettered peace in the country. One would have thought that the ceremony will end with the signing of the anniversary register by the President, but everyone watched as the President, in what looks like an innovation, puts a call across to the Nigerian soldiers in the war front.
I'm very impressed, and I thank you and congratulate you for doing your best within the circumstances. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The troops are hearing you even as you address them. We are much appreciative of your support to the entire theater, sir.
Please tell them that we are all concerned here about their performance as much as the rest of the nation, and that I hope they are in touch with their respective families back at home, and I hope everybody is fine. I assure you the government is doing its best to make sure that they are provided with the best that is possible in terms of military hardware and efficiency in logistics. That's your pay and allowances, so that your families will be heading back in the barracks. Thank you very much indeed.
and the joy of the soldiers there knows no bounds. Some of the special guests expressed confidence in the Nigerian army.
This war will be won by the grace of God, and we are working towards ensuring that.
We're proud of what the men and women they've done for this country, and we'll continue to support the armed forces in their events. Some of the innovations we saw today, very impressive. It shows that with a committed government, with focused leadership, this country has the resources and the people to be able to do it. It's very encouraging, and you leave here feeling that, yes, you will feel proud of your country.
Beyond the laying of wreaths here, many Nigerians believe that the Nigerian soldier, dead or alive, deserves further celebration and gratitude of the nation for their past and present sacrifices for their fatherland. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, leaders of northern Nigeria honor the memory of the region's post-independence premier, late Sir Ahmadu Bello. We also have more on the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. We'll be joined on the news at 10 by Brigadier General Olusegun Ajana.